Hello, good people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching me from. Welcome back to Sophia the Life Coach, your #1 online coaching show where you get empowered through learning. With me, Sophia Morongi. Thank you for joining me in this wonderful episode. Today I just thought we talk about some culture practices, some culture standards, those culture rules that were set by our great grandparents, and it might be affecting us in our generation in one way or the other according to how you relate or how you resonate with it. Let's get learning and see what or how it's going about. So, culture, when you hear about culture, I know everyone has been raised through culture, parents following some cultural guidelines here and there. So when I talk about it, I know everyone understands and can relate. For example, there were those teachings that were there those old days, like especially when a woman is expecting, or when they give birth, or when they are breastfeeding. They're not supposed to be serving or even preparing food for the family, especially the food that will be served to the old men or the family at large. Those were the things that were happening those days. But today, it's not easy for it to happen, because you find even a young person like me will give birth. You don't have someone to be doing your house chores or be cooking for you, or someone to be doing those things that were denied from such woman to be doing them for me. So you'll find I'm the one who will be doing it. And you see, even times have changed. Even though, yes, it's good to observe some few days of relaxing and recuperating, and even getting some time to heal a bit, but you find you don't have that long period of time for you to just sit there. Even if, for example, you are a lady in career, or you are employed, or you are doing your own businesses, when you have 3 months of leave with your baby, you're good to go. That is even the time that many people return to their normal life after delivery. So you see, that is a thing that if it continues the way it was being practiced those days, it can affect our way of doing things in the current life. So when we also talk about, for example, circumcision, they were doing it in a different way for boys, like that rite of passage. They were taken to forest. They were staying there for weeks or even days until the period is over or that process is over. But you see, of late times have changed. Nowadays, people are taken to hospital and they are just treated by doctors. The process is done medically, and you see, it is getting some changes from those old practices and the today's practice. Again, when we talk about those days, they were doing even for girls, But you see now, even with the education and the changes today, it's never done to girls anymore. But you see, there are some cultures still. There are some tribes that are still holding that culture, and they are still doing it in secret for girl child, which is very wrong actually. That's why we are fighting female genital mutilation, because that is just destroying a young girl or a young lady, because it's not even important. That is not applicable in our today's life, because those are the things that are passed by time. Yeah, you see, those old people in those old days, they were doing it, maybe it was favoring them for the best reasons that was known to them by that time. But you see, by the progress or the changes of time, you see now that things are not even impactful to us. Take for example things like dowry payment, or the cultural or the traditional wedding way, the way people were doing the traditional marriage. It used to be, you come, the man who wants to pursue the lady for the marriage, they come and they talk with the wazee from this village, and you agree on, maybe they were asking for this honey, sugar, like traditional things that were available that time. It was not too expensive for someone to have a girl's hand in marriage. But with time, the rules was changing, or have been changing with time, until today you go for asking a girl's hand in marriage and you are slapped with huge requirements for her dowry payment, and it starts breaking you down, or it's becoming a big deal for you, because you as a young man, you are going for these ladies and in marriage. You might not have made it in life already, because you are the same age group. Even the lady might not be that well off in terms of finances, and you as a man, you are just starting off life, you are just building yourself, and now you go there, they ask you for too much. For the few guys who are really doing their best to make sure they get the lady for the marriage, they continue. Now they start WhatsApp group here, WhatsApp group there. You find someone with 3 or 4 WhatsApp groups for the support, for financial collection, for dowry payment, and the marriage preparation. Other guys will feel like this is too hard on me, this is a burden for me, and they will just run away. They will just leave the girl. They will not proceed. That man who ran away, what do you think will happen to them? They will be imagining to go and get married. They are like, that is a bit hefty for me for now. That's why you hear some people say, these young men say, let me build myself first, let me have at least a well-paying job, or let me develop my business first, let me have a car, let me have my money, and then I will now go for that lady. You see, now it's being made like a burden, of which it's something that is supposed to be just easy or a simple process. What the parents did not consider too much, like putting the burden to the guy. Yes, they say, we have educated our daughter, you are the one taking her, but you forget the life or the marriage is for both. Now when the man is being burdened to do too much to take that daughter of yours in marriage, that's why they tend to feel like they belong. The lady now will belong to them because it's like they have acquired them by paying those all requirements. So when that process is being done or is being carried out, those younger girls there will be looking at, if this is what happened to so and so when a process was being done, maybe his person ran away because of the requirements, or the guy strained because of the requirements, simply because they came to report themselves to parents. Tomorrow, those young girls will be in the market for the marriage. They will find a man, then they tend to cohabit because they are afraid of coming back to the village and all those requirements, or they are afraid my man might disappear as well. We have seen even those who have tried their best to work it out and go for the marriage, still they give the pombe for wazee, the sugar, the porridge for the wamama, the dowry itself, the blanket, the clothing they are requested to bring. But in the day of the process, still you find the guy has come with his people, but the girl is still hidden, covered with lassos. At you identify your girl. If you fail to identify her, then you are fined again. So like it's becoming like a form of just trying to look for money, and it affecting even the marriage in one way or the other, or the friendship for the young people in one way or the other, because you find, if I still tried my best and I come here, you want to milk me to the last drop as a man, a young man who is trying to better this process to be at least simple, then it becomes a challenge. And if one is learning from the friend who went ahead of them, they will avoid the process. So the ones who are setting those rules could at least look for a way of adjusting. You find, for example, if I myself as a married lady would want us to go and pay dowry to our family, and maybe my dad never paid dowry to my mom, parents, then we are required to at least wait for them to pay. You see, now even the failure for the parents affects us as children as well. Or maybe if the husband wants to pay the dowry and maybe his parents have not done with the process, is required not to continue the process unless you go and help the parent to sort their dowry first and then come to sort yourself. You see, those old things that are passed by time. I feel like it's good to be upgrading the way life is growing, like the way days are moving. Like we are in 21st century. We are practicing things that were set, or rules that were set a long time ago. You find like this tribe that practice the culture of a newborn must be shaved by a grandmother or an auntie. Take for example, me, I'm just a young mother who is living in just these lower standards or lower places in the city. I'm even trying to afford, or I'm even struggling to afford a meal, or even to maintain the baby, to have what is required for them in terms of meals and provision. But you see, I am still expected to look for finances to go all the way to up country. that is transport, of course, and some few shopping here and there to take to home for their child to be shaved. Like, what is the difference? A mother can shave their own child, or the father can just shave their own child. You see, now those are the things that are very past by time. Or this other one of if you are married and maybe your brother, your habit passes on. Now his brother is inheriting you to be his wife. You people, maybe you were even quarreling when your hubby was alive, or you never even had good terms, or you are not, chemistry is not even any close to each other. But now you are forced by culture, like you be his wife. Those are the things, like, is affecting people. Those were the things that were said a long time ago, but you find them affecting people until today. Now when you try to deviate from them, those set rules, you get the condemnation. Those are the people, the older people in the generation. Those are the people who tells you, like, if you don't bring your kid to be shaved by your aunt, or this or that will happen. If your wife, if you are not inherited by your brother, you cannot go away because you are already in this family. Things like that. They try to manipulate you in a way, like, you see, if I don't do what they prefer, something bad might happen to me, or this and that. Or you see, if you go and pay dowry for your wife, and your mother has not been paid dowry for, or the wife's mother has not been paid dowry for, this and that will happen. Like, they teach us, or they manipulate us, like, to feel if we don't follow what they prefer or what was said, things might happen to us. And you see, now that is where my main reason of bringing this topic today is coming. When we don't follow their ways of preference, like, because I feel it's their preference because they are the ones who said them. Those days we were not there. We are just being affected by them today, and we were not there when they were said. So you find, I don't do it today, I'll just wait, and time is gone. You see, I cohabit, we don't go pay dowry, then we have bypassed that part, until when my kids again will come, they want to do this process, and then they are hindered by how I bypassed this process. You see now how we grow a generation of, let me call it like failure or something. Because when they come, they want to do things right, they have that barrier. Because me, I experienced the barrier. Take this example. You are a single mom, you have your kids, and they grow. They want to get married, but they cannot pay you dowry because your dowry was not paid. Remember, I said a single mom because your hubby is not there. Maybe they were not responsible and you just raised your kids. How do that culture, all those old people, expect your dowry to be paid as a single mom, and you do not have a husband? Now you see, if it's your daughters who dowry is being paid, or if it's the man who wants to marry, because even the man cannot marry before his mom's dowry is paid. You see, now they will have to hold on with their process and come to sort out your issue first before they progress with their issue. So you find this will bring even the greedy for money. Like, now you will see, I have to find a wealthy or a rich guy for him in case these issues are needed. At least he can manage to sort them out. You see, You see now why even these young ladies are looking forward to those men with money. Because when you come even for introduction to the parents and the guy is not that well off, they tend to prefer, or they tend to talk to you like, you just decided to bring this person? Like they imagine what he has, like what they will have. So when, for example, the standards are affecting you, you just start feeling the pressure. That pressure to feel like, I cannot manage, I will not be able to hold this. Or those believe that the head girls should be for marriage and bearing kids. You find even today some cultures or some tribe are still wanting to marry off young girls. They believe like a woman should not be empowered, a woman should just stay home and bear children and work out the house chores. But those are bygone days. Today, everyone deserves equal opportunities. Everyone deserves to do better in their own capacity. Actually, most of the time when a lady is well empowered, they do well. Like they do better even in the market, the job or career or the business market, because they do it with the generation in their mind. They think of their kids, of the family, like the setting in mind. But you see, they were not given those opportunities back in the days. That's why you find until today those cultural imaginations are still affecting our girls. Like you find a lady is above 20 years, she is almost turning 30, and everyone is eyes are on her. Why are you not getting married? Why are you not getting married? Like they put pressure on you. They don't want to understand what you are doing for yourself, how you are. You want to build yourself before you settle down for the marriage. Or maybe you have not even found that person you would like to settle down with. Because what I know about those old people, they don't even think of how you will be or how happy you will be. They just wish you get married. Most of the time, I don't think it's their interest of my happiness. They just feel like you just need to. They pressure you. Okay, then even if you don't want to get married, just bear a kid with anybody and raise them. Remember, when you just bear a kid, they will not even be there to support you or even support the kid. You see? So what I would say, don't fall for the pressure. Don't fall for the manipulation. Of course, they talk to us. That's why you find even when you just settle down, you want to strategize, you want to plan yourself, you want to at least settle down and plan how to go about having your kids or something. They are there already. Now you are married. Why are you not giving birth? Like they don't even like to know whether maybe you may be facing some challenges or you are just taking your time according to your plan. Like those old cultures of wanting things to be done in their way of their preference is what I felt I should talk about today. Because gone are the days when we feel like we can do things the way people said them. When you want to build yourself in today's generation and you start focusing on those old cultures, I tell you, you won't manage, because you want to start something for yourself and you remember, my parents don't have something like this, then you just relax. Or you feel like, even none of my family members or none of my generation has ever achieved this, none of them has ever done this, and then they just bring you back again. Take for example this cultural practice of bringing or keeping the dead, the departed, to in your homes, like for weeks or for months. You know that thing, when someone has already departed, like someone is gone already, it's only the human body is lying there, but their soul, the spirit is gone. When you just remain with it there, you see the trauma even goes on, because you imagine the person is there and they are not there. You wish they were there and they are not there. But when you keep on practicing those set standards, the effect is still too much. And you know, when now like for example, as we are feeling like we can deviate from those set standards, now we get, of course, critics from those older people who feels like those set standards are supposed to be followed. That's why you find a career woman want to grow in the network and the net worth, but the elderly people in the society will feel like, you as a woman should just stay home, just grow your kids, just bear many children, and they feel like you're just supposed to be there. That's why you see those ladies who are coming to the city, they are not perceived as wife materials by the elderly, because they feel like you're not doing what is required of you as a wife. But when you just decide to go about it, just go about it. Let me encourage you as a young person. We are many of us outside here who have decided, if at all it's not affecting me, if at all it's not disrespectful, if at all it's not bad to me, according to my understanding or according to the today's life or today's living standards, then we can go for it. Because when we dwell there in those old practices, then they tend to just bring us or make us remain behind. So what are some of the cultural practices that you feel like they are too much in this generation? Kindly let's have a conversation on the comment section. Just talk about it. Bring me some points that you feel I left out. What is that thing that you feel like I should have talked about it? I will talk about it in the another video maybe. You see, here we are just to chill, to learn, and to get knowing what is good for us to be doing, or what we feel we can change, even to make our society better, because every day is a learning day. So thank you so much. Kindly remember to subscribe if you're new in this channel. Thank you for joining this great family, and for the returning subscribers, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting me, and thank you for being willing to learn as we proceed to getting enlightened. Kindly share to your friends. Let them join this family as well, and let us all get to know what is at least would work for us, or what is that thing that we can do to better our tomorrow, to be different from today and yesterday. Thank you so much. That was my time. I appreciate you. I pray that God will bless you, and let us continue being rock dear as we do life together. Thank you very much.